Hello there and welcome to my art studio. Today we are going to be painting this red rose together. Now the reason why I wanted to do this is because I have always found red roses to be really tricky, because when you add the highlights you get this kind of chalky pink look on top of a red rose, whereas the method I'm going to show you today is going to show you how to paint a red rose with those highlights but still keep it that vibrant, rich red. So that's what we're going to do today. If you really like these kind of short, skill building focused little exercises, you're going to love Supercharge Your Art in 14 days. So I'll pop the link to that below if you kind of want to really up level your art skills in the shortest amount of time. You can join us there with the link below. But for now, let's dive into what supplies we're going to need for this painting today. So the supplies I'm using is a glazing liquid, which we'll use at the very end, a black, a white, titanium white to be exact, a red and a yellow. I'm using a flat edge brush because I love how I can create petal shapes with it. And I've just got a pad of paper. It's like thick, strong paper you can use with acrylic paint, and a palette. And here I've just got an old rag and some water to the side of me, just a jar of water. So let's squeeze out our paints onto our palette. Okay, so let's dampen off our brush and just take off the excess water with a rag or a paper towel. So it's kind of damp. It's not soaking wet and dripping water, but you can feel a dampness to it. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take some of the red, and it's nice to lighten red, not just with white. Oops, a bit over enthusiastic there. Not just with the white, but with yellow. And yes, it does create a bit of an orange glow, but as you can see from the reference photo, that's actually going to really help us. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my flat edge brush, and feel free to add as much water as you need. We don't want it so it's dripping, but just so that it moves around easily. And I'm going to start to use the shape of my brush to kind of carve the shapes of the rose. Now you can see it's quite angular, really, when you look at these shapes and you kind of create them into a basic outline. And this is where I always like to begin my paintings, is just creating those basic shapes, because there's no point creating a big painting and then realizing you're not actually happy with the actual shape of it. No amount of details can fix a bad shape, okay? So once I've kind of mapped out that basic kind of shape, we can go ahead and fill it in with this lovely bright red colour. And it's totally up to you how kind of loose and messy you want to keep this. I really like the loose and messy abstract kind of look, but it's up to you how long that you take over this. Also, don't worry about the edges. What we will do, we'll kind of go in with a background once we're happy with the rose itself. Okay, so once that is kind of dry, mine's drying super quick on this paper, I'm going to take some of the black, and you can go ahead and add some red into this too. Now it looks like black, but when I kind of pop a bit here, you can see it's a very dark red, and you can add a little bit of water to that. And what we're going to do, we're going to squint at our reference photo, and we're going to see what shapes we can find. So for example, here I can see the center of the rose is actually a little bit above the center in the photograph, and you can kind of create that V shape with your brush. And what we're going to be doing is just going to the reference photo, picking out some of those shadows and popping those down in the place where we think we can see them in our painting. And this is almost like painting in negative space. And what's nice about doing this method is that you can kind of get the building blocks of a rose down. Okay, and when you've got something like this, you can rinse off your brush and we'll let that completely dry. So when that is pretty much dry, what we're going to do is take a little bit of water and just take our red now. So this is just red with nothing added to it, just a very nice rich red. And I'm going to be looking at my reference photo and picking out especially those really nice kind of magenta-y red parts, but kind of just going on to just give a little bit of definition to what we've put down. And as you can see, if I kind of go over the black, you can still see, and because this is a translucent colour, especially in the golden range, you can kind of go over little bits here and there, and it really adds this beautiful kind of layering system to it where you can still see that underneath. So I'm going to be using my brush here to carve the idea of the petals. And when I say the idea, what I mean is kind of picking out where some of those petals are, and you don't have to like perfectly add it on and kind of like do every single petal. I really like to do like this sort of more impressionistic style where you get the idea of the petal and let kind of the person fill in the gaps, you know, between what's there and what their imagination is. And this is more about giving suggestions. So I just go around, I'm looking at the reference photo probably more than my painting. Now that's a huge tip I can give you with your art. A lot of us spend a lot of time looking at our paintings, but if you struggle to make your paintings look realistic or kind of with that realistic edge, just look more at your reference photo than your painting. Okay, lovely. You can already see it's really soft and vivid. Now what we're going to do next is, I need some more red paint. I've used up quite a lot there. We're going to start to add some beautiful highlights. Now, a mistake that many people make with painting red roses, and a mistake that I made for so long, is using white on a highlight. Now, it's okay to do that in certain circumstances, and I'm going to show you why, but generally, if you look at that reference photo, you can see the highlights are actually orange because when the sunlight hits the rose, it's picking out that warm, rich colour. So I'm going to add some of the yellow into that red to pick out an orange. In fact, I need some more yellow too. So get some of your yellow, and don't be afraid even if it looks very yellowy, because as I say, on the reference photo it actually does. Now I'm going to use the kind of the end of my paintbrush to pick out some little areas of the rose. Now you don't need to like do that many actually. It's more just picking out in the reference photo where you can see some of those highlights. And if you put them in the same place, the brain will start to realize that what you're actually doing is showing where the light is coming in and where that light is hitting. Okay, lovely. And then we're going to rinse off our brush. We're going to let that completely dry, and then we'll go on with the final stage with some highlights. Great, so for the highlights, I'm going to add some white this time, and we're going to pop the white into here. We want it like a light kind of peach colour. So it's still got that yellow hint in it. It's not like a purpley light colour, but it's like this lovely peach. And then you might just want to squeeze off any excess paint. So then just get some on the edge of your paintbrush, and again we're going to pick out some of those little highlights. And it's totally up to you like how many of these you add. Also depends on like the kind of rose that you want to create. But really what we're doing is just copying the formation of the petal. Again, it's that subtle suggestion of those angles. And you can see that, you know, a lot of the time we do a lot of curves in a rose, but sometimes some of these angles can be quite, you know, like this one here, be quite straight. And what I really like to try and do is create almost like a triangular shape, because that's what I see in roses, is this lovely triangular shape. So trying to replicate that. And then if you pop down a little bit and you want to smudge it, feel free to kind of, you know, use your finger if you want to. I actually love using a finger to blend, but do make sure you wash and wipe your hands afterwards because of the chemicals in the paint. Okay, great, and then rinse off your brush. Now this last bit is optional, but what I'll do is I'll do it and then you can decide if you want to do it. I'm going to take some of the white and just on maybe 1 or 2 bits, add a really nice white highlight. I think maybe here, because that's just going to make those values pop. In fact, I don't even think I like that one. I might wipe that off. I might just replace that with this that we had before. That's the benefit, you get to see me try these things till you decide you want to do them. So yeah, I'm going to take some of the white and create just a nice highlight just on that bit there. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to wait for this rose to dry. Whilst we're doing that, we can actually pop in a little bit of a background. So it's up to you what you want the background to be. I think, seeing as the colours I've got on my canvas, I might just go in with a black. Oops, it's going to be bit dribbly there, but what I like to do here is kind of pick out those shapes again and redefine them on my painting. And I've picked black because I'm thinking that black and red is just going to make it pop so much. And I can see a little notch out of the petal, which I love. I'm just going to pop that in. And I totally do not mind if this section kind of blends into the shadow. I might even kind of use that to cut back into what I've put down actually. So I kind of like to go back around, and it's almost like painting with negative space. But honestly, there's no right or wrong. I recommend just doing this in like a sketchbook, just to kind of play around and try some new techniques. And then we'll wait for that to completely dry till I show you a little magic trick at the end. But make sure to rinse your brush out really well from this black paint. So for the last step, and this is totally optional, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to get some of the glazing fluid. I'm just going to pop some on there. Now this is just a translucent way to extend acrylics, make them more transparent. So I'm going to add some red into that, and this is very important that we don't get any white in this mixture. We just want to use the transparent colours with the glaze. Something like this. And because it's transparent, what I'm going to do is just pop that all over the rose. So it's going to warm up those colours, and it's also going to go over our highlights, because of course roses don't have actual white highlights on them, and it just pops that lovely pigment back into, sometimes I feel like white kind of washes out and looks a little bit flat, so it just pops that lovely vibrant pigment back into the painting again to make it pop. And you can do this kind of as many times as you like if you want to go back in or out to kind of add some more highlights. But you can see that just with those few stages you can create a rose that you're really proud of, and this is accessible to anybody. Just keep on practicing. Thank you so much for painting that rose along with me, or if you just watched it come together, that is perfectly fine as well. Please do make sure you tag me on your creations though. If you post them on Instagram or Facebook, tag me in at Katie Jobling Art. I love to see your versions and scroll through. It's super fun to see, you know, how everybody collectively uses these videos as their own inspiration, but puts their own little flair on it. I love that. And if you really want to improve your artwork in a short amount of time, then Supercharge Your Art is definitely designed for you in mind. It's a 2-week sketchbook experience where every day we hyper focus in on an art skill that is going to make you see so much progress in your artwork and help you to see like an artist. So I'll pop the link to that below, and it would be wonderful to have you join us in that experience. Make sure to hit the notification bell and subscribe to my YouTube channel too. And I hope you have a beautiful, creative, inspiring week ahead, and I'll see you soon. Bye!